Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Welcome, friends, to the Encounter program sponsored by the Broome County Council of Churches. My name is Mark Kimpland. I'm the pastor at the Endwell United Methodist Church. Today, I'm excited about our topic. We will be sharing news regarding the United Way of Broome County and specifically the upcoming Day of Caring. And I am joined this morning, and I'm thrilled to be joined this morning by Joni Kaiser, who is the Community Impact and Engagement Manager from the United Way of Broome County. Joni, welcome to the Encounter program.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Glad we were able to pull this together in such a short amount of time. I'd like to begin because this will be an education for me also. I don't know much about the Day of Caring, and also we'll talk about Make a Difference Day later in the program here. But can you kind of share your involvement with the United Way and a little bit about what your roles and responsibilities are?
Sure. I began working with United Way about 4 years ago, and I was doing volunteer engagement basically at that point, and then began working on Day of Caring shortly thereafter. So I understand the needs in the community and then the attempt to try to match volunteers and people that want to help with those needs.
I came across this idea of the Day of Caring last year. Again, I'm starting my third year in this community and such things, and heard a little bit about the Day of Caring and such things. Can you give us as much of an expansive view of what the Day of Caring is, what's involved in pulling this off, what people do? Just kind of give us a snapshot, if you would, to get us started here.
Sure. This year in particular, we are matching up 86 different projects that need something done sometime on Friday, September 11th, with 850 to 1,000 community volunteers. So we attempt to match the talents and the skills and the time constraints of the volunteers with the projects that need help.
Wow, that's wonderful.
It's all on one day this year, so it's going to be a huge impact on one day.
Oh, amazing. Now, how does this interact with September 11th and all of that? How did that all kind of come to be into this Day of Caring with that horrific day?
Certainly after 9/11 happened, United Way of Broome County looked at the idea of doing something to memorialize those who lost their lives that day, and also to celebrate the first responders and other people that helped. So over time it's evolved then. They started in 2002. Now we're in our 14th year of doing Day of Caring, minus the 2011 year of the flood, which was on that weekend. So we're getting a better handle on kind of matching up the needs and the volunteers in the community.
So this Day of Caring then, is it unique to Broome County then? Is it something that's becoming more far-reaching through the United Way or other agencies and such?
They've actually done Days of Caring throughout the United Way network across the country on different times, different days. Sometimes they do it in June, sometimes they do it around 9/11, but it kind of varies a little bit about how each community does it.
Now, is it specifically at times unique to just 9/11, the day of September 11th, or is it usually over a weekend, a week, a month, or how has that been done in the past?
In the past, it's generally been on or around 9/11, whatever that Friday is. The last few years, we've done it a week of Day of Caring, so we've actually included a Saturday, and some companies have a volunteer day on a Monday, so we would do the whole week.
Okay.
Different projects on different days.
Yeah. So what, with the vast number of projects you have and the number of people that you have involved this year in such things, what are some of the projects that are lined up? What kind of impact will all of these volunteers and all of these people have in the community?
It's pretty amazing, actually, when you think about it, but they range from the parks like Shenango Valley State Park to Aquaga Creek State Park, to child care centers and improving their facilities, lots of painting projects, lots of landscaping projects. Probably about 75% are direct service human service providers. So they're going in to help the facilities where they don't usually have time or staff to help do those projects.
Now, how do these facilities get picked? How do they? How's that contact or that network? If there's a facility that needs some volunteer labor, some of that done, how does that get?
Right around May or June of every year, we start the project sign-up period, where people can sign up a project, and anybody can sign up a project. They don't have to be a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay.
They could be a church. They could be a business that has something where they do a food pantry, perhaps. Could be a school. Could be a variety of things. And we try to encourage different kinds of groups because we have different types of volunteers.
So there are letters that go out to a vast number and a vast array of people that or agencies and such things in Broome County. Then do they then fill out an application of sorts? Or okay.
They fill out a really brief sort of description of their project, and we try to then match up when the volunteers start signing up. Try to match those up. Now sometimes we can't actually do that match, either because we can't find anybody interested in that project. It's too far to drive for people. A variety of reasons. Sometimes they can't be matched, but generally we try to match every project that is submitted.
So you do, for the most part, try to do all of them that come in then. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep.
That's now, where do your volunteers come from? How do you, on the other side of the coin, how do you get the people to go ahead and work on these projects?
You know, we are so fortunate because we actually have some people that have been volunteering since 2002 on this event. We're very lucky to have UHS-sponsored volunteer teams. They actually pay their employees to volunteer.
Oh, wow.
So I think they have 125 teams this year. It's a tremendous resource in this community. We also get volunteers from churches, from schools, from scouting troops. We get volunteers from a host of businesses like Visions Federal Credit Union, BAE, Wegmans. Generally the businesses that give in the community anyway also believe in giving their time of their employees.
Right. How would you, if a business or an agency that is in Broome County and such things isn't aware or isn't contacted by the United Way, how would you have them, what would your recommendation be for them to become involved in something like this?
They could certainly contact me at any time.
Okay.
They could call United Way, they could look at our website, whatever method they prefer to communicate in, and we will let them know about when the timeline is and get their information to notify them for next year.
Is there qualifications, age ranges, expertise qualifications?
Oh, I'll tell you what,
in the midst of this?
Yeah, just to plug anyone involved in construction. If you would consider volunteering next year, we'd love to have people that knew more about construction. It's the one area we have a really hard time matching up projects with. And on the other side, there are a lot of needs relating to plumbing, electrical, actual building that a lot of nonprofits have.
Are those the ones at times you have to say we just can't?
Unfortunately, yes. And those are the ones where obviously the construction people are making their money this time of year. So it's very difficult for them to do volunteering because they're working every day. So we understand the issue there. But if any volunteers from that field are interested, we could pick them up for the winter.
Plug away. Well, that was my next question. If it can't be done on September 11th or the 12th that weekend, are there projects that are maybe moved back?
Yes.
At another time where they can be?
You bet. And we try to pick up those projects that we didn't match. Last year we were able to pick up 7 additional projects before the end of October last year.
Wonderful. Now, what about age requirements or anything like that? If there are youth groups or something like that, are there age requirements to these projects?
Usually if there are people under 21, just a parent would need to come with them. In the past when we've done, especially like on a Saturday, we have more involvement with the families, which we really like to have. So I think that's an ideal scenario where you can have younger people learning about what volunteering is all about.
So every project, if it's assigned, then you assign it to a particular group of people
Right.
and such things. And then when they receive that information, is there a detailed list of what needs to be done within the time frame, what to bring, what to do, how to go about doing that?
You understand the organization for sure. And we actually have instruction packets that we send out to the site supervisors and the volunteers. We have a group of volunteers that are called area managers.
Okay.
So they each have 8 to 15 projects that they supervise. So they check in with both the volunteers and the site locations, make sure everybody's got their questions answered and knows what to do. So there's a lot of communication between the teams once they're matched.
Yeah. Now, what is the time limit if one is going to sign up for next year? It's too late for this year, as I understand now, but looking back, looking ahead into 2016, what kind of time frame are we looking at for folks that are watching this program and say, hey, my church, my agency, my this, my that, would love to be involved in this?
Absolutely. We're looking at the end of May, early June for project signups, and then we're looking at the end of June, early July for volunteers to sign up. So that's the general time frame.
Gotcha. Okay, good. And we certainly want to make that available to everyone listening today or watching us. What are some stories that you can share? How has that impacted people's lives? Have you?
It's amazing.
Can you share some thoughts about that as to how it's impacted lives of both the people that are working and those that already and had the work done?
Absolutely. I'll give a couple examples. One, through the Broome County Council of Churches, where they build ramps and then they stain those ramps for people that are confined to wheelchairs. Those examples are really heartwarming because the people cannot get out of their home to get into a car unless they have a wheelchair ramp. So the Council of Churches with their Ramp It Up program builds those ramps. We generally go back and then do the sealing of those ramps. So that way the ramp lasts longer and they have more benefit, obviously. Another example, the United Presbyterian Church is a location for a community meal. And so they needed their room painted last year so that it would look nicer for the community meal. And we had a group of volunteers from Frito-Lay who actually went in, inspected it, figured out what they needed, did all the specs, and then painted that room an unbelievably two-tone paint job. It was just fantastic, and all the clients that go to the community meal were so happy to have a nice, clean room.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of a silly thing, but it meant a lot to those people.
Absolutely. So it is having an impact.
Absolutely.
It is on both sides.
Yeah.
Which is
for sure.
That's what ministry is certainly all about and such things. Now, we had talked prior to this time together and such things that you're planning events for Make a Difference Day on October 24th. Can you promote that? Can you kind of share what that is all about and what will be entailed in that?
That's actually a national day of volunteering, and it was begun by the Gannett Foundation, and Newman's Own Foundation is also involved heavily in that particular day. It is meant for family volunteering. And it's all meant to be on that fourth Saturday in October, in this case, October 24th this year. So we do hope to pick up some extra projects from Day of Caring that weren't done. There may also be a reading jumpstart, Read for the Record, in the main Endwell School District this year as a project. So the 4-county library system is doing some planning around those efforts, and we try to plug in volunteers for them, for that effort.
Okay. How can one be involved in that? How does one begin the process of just contacting?
Sure, they can contact me.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Right. And is that basically what it is? Make a Difference Day are some of the projects that the Day of Caring did not or was not able to?
And I think in this particular community, there's a history of literacy involvement and reading with children. That project, Make a Difference Day, has focused on in the past. It was also when we had Penguin Books, there was a huge donation from them that made it really special because they gave new books to children.
Are there other things then outside of the literacy things that people have done in the past for Make a Difference Day?
I think, again, they have done some park work.
Okay.
Generally speaking, we try to do indoor work because we never really know what the weather might be.
Yes,
Actually, we don't know what's going to be next week either, but we're hoping for good weather next week.
Yes.
And October 24th, generally, it can be a competitive thing. There's actually awards given on the national level for Make a Difference Day projects, and some of them are complete city-wide projects in different cities, metro cities.
Wow.
It's hard for us to compete like that, but we enjoy the concept anyway.
Yeah, that would require a lot of resources and a lot of things that perhaps Broome County may not have and such things. What other volunteer engagement efforts are you involved in?
We do a lot around the National Days of Service.
Okay.
So we look at Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January, and in April there is a National Volunteer Week. And we usually do a conference and a volunteer recognition event in April. So those are two different ones that we also look at, and we try to engage college students, SUNY Broome and BU students, as well as generally people in the community who might be able to perform a day of service. Some people have those days off of work, and so therefore they're more available and more accessible for our projects.
Absolutely. I guess this is more on a personal level and such things. Your involvement with the United Way and such things, and all of these projects and such things. What has it done for you? How has it touched your spirit?
I think that's the kind of thing that makes you keep doing the work you're engaged in, is seeing these benefits that are just sort of mind-blowing if you put them all together. But it brings out the good in people all the way around, and then we spread that good news and that good effort, and it makes our community so much better.
Absolutely.
So it's very rewarding.
Yeah, you've been fed by this this experience also,
for sure.
which is really neat. If you had one pearl of wisdom to perhaps some of our viewers or those listening and such that might be on the fence, boy, this sounds like a great idea. It's exciting stuff happening, but I'm on the fence. Is there something that you could share with them to perhaps make them more comfortable to make the move to do either Make a Difference Day or the Day of Caring and such things? Any sage wisdom that you can share with those folks?
I'll do my little plug for the health benefits of volunteering. Now there's actually been research that actually shows that if you volunteer, you're going to be a healthier person, both mental health-wise and physical health-wise. So people that do volunteer live longer, live better lives. So this is your chance.
There you go. There you go. Get off the couch and make it happen, right?
Yes.
That is very, very exciting. What else is the United Way up to in Broome County? Most folks are familiar with, at least to some extent, the United Way and the national organization. What in this area in Broome County and such things is the United Way doing?
Well, we have some really good things happening in our area. One of the things that people might be familiar with is our 211 line, where people can call if they want to know the nearest food pantry, or if they want to know how to get help with their utility bills. So they call just 211, and there's an information line provided, people manning those phones. Now, United Way's 211 in Broome County is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We got a state grant to help with this enhanced service, and now we also have 5 different counties that we serve. So we serve Broome and Tioga, Shenango, Delaware, and Otsego counties. So anybody in any of those counties that needs assistance can call and try to find out where they need to go for help.
Now, is the 211 line and such things, being a part of a local church in Broome County and such things, we see so many needs and such. Is it more of an informational directing to people to the services, or are there ways in which that agency helps also with them, or is it?
I think that a little bit of both.
Okay.
So they do some directing, they do an awful lot of listening, and try to clarify with people what the needs actually are so that they can make the best referrals there are. They also coordinate heavily with the CHOW organization and the pantries. They actually do intakes for them.
Would you say that the 211 system and such things would be the first line of defense for someone looking for help?
Absolutely, especially
Okay.
if they're new in the community and they don't know where to turn. 211 is one of the first places they should go. When the flood happened in 2011, United Way was asked to open the 211 line 24/7. In the first month, they responded to 6,000 calls.
Wow.
So at that point, obviously, there was huge needs in the area, and people needed to figure out how to volunteer, how to get help, and so 211 really filled that. And it reduced the need for people calling 911.
Yes.
So left the real emergency work up to the first responders.
Yes, yeah, that's great information. All the varied needs that we have in this
Yes.
county and the people, and
Yes.
you see it all the time, and so do
Yep.
I. To be able to contact that number and
Yep.
get some help. The
Really.
help that they actually need and such things. What are your hopes over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years for the national or for the Day of Caring and also the Make a Difference Day? Are there any goals that are out there? Are there things that are projected that make this bigger, better, more wonderful, or are you kind of where you are right now and doing as much as you possibly can?
I think it's going to be part of our United Way's move towards community impact. We're looking at how to do things differently, not only more efficiently, but better responding to the needs in the community. So we have areas like income, education, and health that we work on, as well as volunteerism. So we want to promote volunteerism, giving of your time and giving of your money to help meet the needs. So it can all be connected, but it all needs to be modernized in some ways, dealing with people where they are at,
Yes.
and try to encourage them from wherever they are at today to a different point, perhaps.
So where does the United Way of Broome County, as they take a snapshot of Broome County and such things, what are they identifying as the major needs? What are they seeing as the...
They're still looking at hearing from the community about some of those things. Obviously, we have a major poverty issue in Broome County, and we need to work on that. United Way was in Binghamton is one of 3 cities that recently got a state grant to plan for how to fight poverty. So there's some planning effort that's just beginning now to go along with that. Assemblywoman Donna Lepardo helped with that. We're trying to hear from the community what their top priority issues are. And I think they range, but I think hunger is up there. I think poverty is up there. Education of our children is up there. Certainly programs for seniors are some of the things we've been hearing about so far.
Absolutely. Are there ways in which agencies or churches or such things can also relay some of their concerns or what they're seeing also by contacting the United Way?
Absolutely,
Okay.
and we're going to be looking at some forums where people could come and actually do that in person, but they can definitely contact us. We'd be happy to take down their information. We're specifically looking for more people from the faith-based community to volunteer in this effort, as well as people who might be living in poverty, to hear what they think.
Absolutely. So the idea of maybe community-wide forums, that's in the mix
Yes,
also,
yes.
and such things, to hear from those that are
Yes.
right there in the midst of all of those
Yes,
things.
I
and
think
such.
seeing the problems in the community, yes.
Identifying them and all of that.
Yeah.
So this is an exciting time, an
Yes.
exciting time with lots of opportunities and lots
Yes.
of potential and such things. Really, there are no limits to what we can really do here. And
That's absolutely right, and certainly United Way believes that, and we're glad you believe that, and the listeners believe that too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, our time is winding down and such things. I've certainly enjoyed this time with you. Is there anything left unsaid that's on your heart that you'd like to share? This is you have about a minute or so to kind of say whatever else you want to say to those that are listening, to encourage them to be a part of this, or perhaps your vision. I'll give you the floor for the last minute or so. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, personally, I would like to thank the listeners or watchers who already do volunteer, because certainly there are a lot of people who do, and we're grateful for that and for their inspiration that they provide to other people.
Absolutely. You know, your idea about creating better health also extends to our spiritual life.
Yes.
and everything. One of the things that I don't even know who coined it, but in counseling and such things with those that might be suffering from whatever ailment it might be, some of the recommendations are go help someone else.
Yes.
You know, and go find someone that's in need that you can offer yourself to and such things, and that so many times puts a little different perspective on
Yes.
on everything
Yes.
for all that are involved.
Right.
So. Well, this certainly has been a wonderful time of coming together, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time to come and share your thoughts and in the work of the United Way. It certainly is a blessing to this community and to all those that are involved. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for this time that we've spent with Joni Kaiser, the Community Impact and Engagement Manager of the United Way of Broome County. I want to thank you for being a part of this time that we've shared together. I ask God's blessings upon this time and upon your week. Have a great week, and God bless you all.